more days left in this year. Oh dear. Um, Hopefully you all are following the business plan outline so that you can get started for 2022. Now is the time. It's the time. We have 30 days of inventory, and we are doing record sales for this time of year. Record sales. That is incredible. And I think it's going to continue. I say this, I think it's going to continue because I don't see it slowing down. When I see the people going under contract, 114 yesterday, that is a really big number, everybody. That is a big number. And we closed 98 and we listed 92. We're still churning. It's a wonderful thing. It really is a wonderful thing. Karen, are you there this morning? And Deborah and Bill and Frank, hopefully you all are watching. It's just, this year is remarkable. Don't get lazy. Don't think it's going to last forever. That's why we're going to plan 2022 and stick to it. Know what we want to make. Know how to get there. That's what it's all about. Everything's kind of the same, which is really good. The number of homes 400,000 and under did go down from yesterday. We had 754. Today we have 703, but I'm sure that's because of the closings and the things that went under contract. So y'all are out there selling, people are buying. It's a wonderful time, and I can't express it enough. So I have some, let's see. When I went to the Tom Ferry blueprint, they took a poll and they said, how many have set your personal goals for 2022? 47% of the people Tom Ferry coaches said yes. They said yes. 53% said no. I don't know where you fall, but it's almost like a 50-50 thing. But if you're in the no column, now's the time. You've got to set your goals. You have to. If you can't get someplace if you don't know where you're going. Now, how to make a lot of your goals for next year. Because I never did that, right? This is a remark somebody said. And this is what I learned at the blueprint. How a framework to begin with. So goals should be SMART. Specific, measurable, attainable, realistic. Time, there's a deadline. Yes. Now the questions we like to answer. What do I want to work to achieve? What do I want to work to achieve? And what am I no longer willing to stand for that I want to work to change? So that's really important, really, really important. So that's where you have to start. You have to start knowing what you want and what you're going to stop doing and start doing. Just basic stuff, right? I think so. I think so. So today we're going to watch another video, and this is one of my favorite coaches, and Jeff. And Jeff has a great buyer script for you, and something that perhaps you haven't heard before or done before. And I actually did it along when I listened to this the first time. And then I presented it to John, and I said, okay, if you're a buyer and I present this to you, and because you're on the fence or whatever, would this get you off the fence? So if it's a first-time home buyer, it definitely will get them off the fence. If it's somebody that's looking to sell their home and buy something else, this probably would get them off the fence as well, and many reasons. But we're going to listen to it today. I appreciate you watching. Let's see. I didn't do my check. Huh? Let me do my check. Make sure we're broadcasting here, because I don't see my regulars. I am a little late. Let's see, testing. Yeah, we're testing. We're on. Okay. Maybe y'all are tired of hearing about this stuff, but it's important. You've got to do the broad stroke with your personal expenses, and you got to do your business plan, know how much you have to do. Now, if you just do listings, this might not be applicable to you, but I'm sure if you do some listings, you probably have some buyers, but we'll see. Or maybe you have a team, and this is a great thing to teach your team as well. because your team needs to know new scripts, things that people haven't heard before, a different way to present why people should buy. We all know right now that if the interest rates go up, and I've heard two different, good morning, Deborah, good to see you. Glad you're joining me. Thank you, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. I thought I was talking to a vacant room today. Anyway, so interest rates, I've heard Tom Ferry say that they're going to go up by 2022, by the end of 2022. But then I've heard someone else say that they're not going to go up, maybe not more than 1/10 or 2/10 of a point. They just went up 1/10. They're 3.1 right now. But the feds are telling the economists that we want to maintain these low interest rates. So we'll see, because normally when you have inflation, the interest rates go up. But then what's normal anymore? Do you know Abby normal? Abby normal? I know. Weird. Okay, let's get started. This is really good stuff. So I hope you enjoy it, and pay attention. It's really, really good.
They're starting to inch up.
And I just interviewed the guy from MBA, and I'm forgetting his name now, but he's the chief economist for the Mortgage Business Association.
Right.
And he's like, rates could be in the 4s by the end of 23.
Right.
I was like, 22. I apologize, 22. So what are you telling your clients right now?
So I think most people are not. I don't think rates inching up is to some degree a good thing.
It is.
But I think that we're not paying attention to this. They're starting to creep up. I just noticed the past month that rates have gone from 2.7 to 3.4.
Yep.
Okay, that's
for a 30-year fix.
For a 30-year fix, national average.
Yep.
That means purchasers' buying power has gone down by 10%.
Right.
So Tom, on $1 million mortgage, your payment would be $4,000 a month ago. Now it's $4,400.
Right.
Now watch this. I don't think that's going to really push people away, or they're not going to.
No.
This buyer demand is not going anywhere.
No.
But if it starts to creep up even more, there's going to be a point where, like, whoa, wait a minute, we're going to back off.
And what's going to happen is you're going to see those rates go up, and you're going to see headlines start to change.
Right.
Parents now saying to their kids, I'm not sure, maybe you should wait.
Right.
You're going to see hesitancy in the marketplace because the price of everything is going up. Food, milk, gas, housing, interest rates, all of it. So what are you telling your clients to do?
So I'm seeing articles, weekly mortgage demand dropped 6% after interest rates move higher.
Yeah.
Weekly mortgage demand stalls as rate. You're starting to see these things. We know that the only way we can, really government can control inflation is by adjusting the interest rates. So everybody out there, you should be on the phone right now.
I'm looking for my weekly sales meeting fodder. What am I going
to do? Get on the
phone
phone to all old leads and just talk about rates creeping up. Hey Tom, there's a window of an opportunity, and I really think the next 3 or 4 months, rates are still going to be good. And if you're serious about buying a house in the next year or two, we need to look now, or we need to go out there and get back together, or we need to.
You know what's great about the timing on this too? Historically, for everybody listening, I don't know what day is today, whatever it's
Wednesday,
whatever.
Right.
And so this will be out probably a week after we film this.
It'll probably change.
Well, so yeah, there's always that. But here's the thing. Historically, the fourth quarter, transactions in the U.S. go down by 18% historically. We didn't see that in 2020.
And I think that's because agents just take off.
No doubt. And we know our clientele, oftentimes the fourth quarter could be the best. It's like the best of two because they finish strong, but then they market aggressively. So the first quarter becomes bonkers. But again, calling your old leads, rates are creeping up. Inventory is going to be down, but there's going to be less buyer demand. So what's the language you want the listener to use when they're calling? Because it's one thing to say, Jeff, Kate, I just want to reach out and let you guys know, hey, rates are definitely going up, right? Which means your purchasing power is going to be less. That $400,000 house, if you want the same payment, it's now $350, right? So let's get you back up. But Tom,
I've always said
it is
the last quarter is the best time of year to buy a house because like you said, there's less demand, there's less people looking out there. Maybe there's not 10 offers, maybe there's only 2 or 3, or maybe the house doesn't sell in the first day, maybe it takes 4 or 5 days. You start to see that this time of the year. I think agents start to pat themselves on the back and they just start to back off. Hey, this is everybody that crushed it this year. They worked their butt off the last quarter of last year, and then it just it creeps over and just goes into next year. We know that 2022 starts right now.
Right. Okay. So call me. I'm a buyer. You and I, we looked at property 3 or 4 months ago. I got disenfranchised because there was nothing out there. I wrote a couple offers. I re-signed my lease. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and now you're calling me.
Hey, Tom, this is Jeff Mays over at ABC Real Estate. You recently reached out to us about buying a house. You remember when we looked maybe back in May?
Yeah, of course, man. Yeah.
Part of the reason for me calling is, have you noticed what interest rates have started to do?
You know, I mean, I'm paying attention a little bit, but where are they at?
They're starting to creep up a little bit. So are you still in the market to buy a house?
Well, what's the rate now? Because when we were looking, it was like the mid to high 2s.
It's low 3s. You can get 3 and a quarter. It's still a great time. What I'm worried about is a year from now, you're going to have to pay more, and rates may be at 4.5%. So I was just reaching out. Let's get back together. Let's go see what's out there. And, if there's nothing out there, I want to know what you're looking for. I will mail, knock. I will get on the phone and find out what you're looking for and just hunt for you basically in this type of market. So I know you said your lease is up in March or April.
Yeah.
If we found you the perfect home and the rates were good and you were fine with the mortgage, would you consider moving right now or moving in the next 60 to 90 days?
I mean, if I can get out of my lease.
Okay. So, here's one thing that people don't realize. It's probably going to take a month or two for us to find a house and then probably another couple months to close. So that is, look, it's November, December, January, February. We're already in February or March.
Right.
And you said your lease is up when?
Yeah, my lease is up in March.
Okay, it's the time. Now's the time.
Okay.
So I think we need to talk timing with buyers as well.
We just got really frustrated, with the last go around looking at properties with you and Kate and, writing an offer, falling in love with the house and then it not coming together. Just,
So what if I told you, what if I told you there's going to be potentially less offers? Maybe anybody that's selling their house right now, they're pretty motivated as well. So we're starting to see some price reductions out there. Let's just get back together. Let's re-engage. Let's see what's out there. What works for you? Are you available Saturday in the morning or Sunday afternoon?
Yeah, let's figure out Saturday. Let me talk to Kathy, but Saturday sounds good.
So why don't I pencil you in for Saturday at 10? Will that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
You're
I'll
such
see you
a
Saturday.
closer.
I'm not going to let him off. I'm always going to pencil you in.
Right. Right. I love I'll pencil you in.
Pencil you
I'm not
in
sure how
for
you pencil me in on your phone.
That is old school right there. You just caught me on that. Let me put you in my calendar.
Yes. Okay. So let's transition just for a second. We wanted to talk about first-time buyers.
Right.
And we wanted to talk about 100% conversion of buyers.
Right.
So let's go to the end, which was that first-time buyers scripting conversation and some of that 100% conversion. I like that you prepared, man.
I am prepared.
As a great sales manager does.
Well, the last time I was here, I had a lot of notes, and I noticed some people looking at my notes, and they were ahead of me, and I was like, "Oh, okay, ditto."
Yeah, you stole my point.
Kidding.
All right.
So what I always did, and this is it's great for a first-time home buyer. They didn't even know I would do this. We'd go to lunch, and I would be able to do this on a napkin. Okay, listen, if you can do this on a napkin, I would draw a line down the middle, and I would say, let me show you what your net worth looks like in 5 years, okay? And on the left side, I would have rent, and on the right side, I would have own. Everybody with me so far?
Hold on.
Super?
Brian, Katie, you two listening?
Super easy.
Okay, so do this exercise right now. I'm razzing, Ian already owns a house. Right. He should buy more, right? Brian, do you own a house yet? Katie, you own a house yet?
All right,
you're going to be 25 in a couple days, Katie. You better get on this shit.
All right. So the idea is,
both of you need to do this assignment.
I'm telling you, this will change your idea about buying a house. So the first is rent. So let me ask you, let's use an example that, say your rent is $3,000.
Right.
So Tom, what is your rent a month?
It's about $3,000.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is $3,000 times 60 months. That's 5 years. You're going to spend $180,000 in rent, right?
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let me ask you something. When you move out, do you get any of that back?
No.
They don't give you any of that money back?
No.
Okay, so you
no, if anything, they keep increasing the rent, which they've done to me twice in the last 2 years.
Right, so that $180,000 is a loss. You're not getting anything back from that, okay?
You two feeling that over there?
I was literally just talking about moving out in January.
We're going to sell you a house.
We're going to sell you both a house. This is good.
So Tom, the next thing, do you get any equity when you move out of that rental? Do you get any equity?
No.
Okay. Do you get any tax benefit?
No.
Has anybody sat down and explained the process of buying a home and the
Is
huge
anybody
benefit?
taking the time to show
Right,
you?
exactly. But
Yes.
so let's look at this. On the rent side right now, we got $180,000,
This
no
is
equity.
the ultimate first-time buyer consultation.
This is
done
so
at Starbucks
easy.
or at lunch.
Exactly.
What I like
with
about
your
this,
friends
That's
too.
okay. What I like about this is a friendly. This isn't a
This
sales
isn't
pitch.
just,
This is like,
tell me,
hey guys, like you're
Right.
gonna spend this money anyway.
Right.
Right. So you know, do you want to invest it in this, or do you want to pay somebody else's mortgage, or do you want to pay your own mortgage?
Right.
Because the mortgage is going to be paid.
you're
gonna pay it.
I'm gonna show you one thing at the very end that gets them every time. So
Right.
so Tom, at the end of the day, renting $180,000 off.
6 years.
Right.
Whatever the multiple, you know, whatever their average rent is,
Right.
you know, $2,000 a month, $1,500 bucks, $3,000
So
a
then,
month.
so then on the own side, we're going to spend the same amount of money, $180,000. But hey, Tom, what do you think 80%? Hey guys, what is 80% of a mortgage? Do you know what it is? 80% is interest.
Yeah.
And what's the key to interest?
You can write some of that off.
It's deductible.
Right.
So 80% of that rent that you're going to be paying now in a mortgage is going to be deductible. And let's say you're at a 30% tax bracket. I just use this example. You're going to make $43,000. Now watch this. In 5 years, that is money in your back pocket that
Right.
you're not paying the government.
Yeah.
Okay, that is, you're going to make, they're actually paying you to own a home because of the mortgage deduction.
You two get that?
Okay, you have not experienced that, but that's the big benefit to owning, one of the big benefits of owning a home. The next thing is, let me ask you something. So you're going to save $43,000 in taxes. How much equity do you get when you own a house?
Well, you get all the equity.
Right. But let me ask you, what's the appreciation past 50 years? What do you think the appreciation has been in the United States?
3%?
It's
4%?
about 5%.
Really?
So let's say this was about let's say it was about a $600,000 house or $600,000 mortgage. At 5% over 5 years, you're going to have an equity of $150,000. So you're going to buy this house. The idea is it's going to go up 5% a year on average. And so then when you're done, you're going to save $43,000 on taxes. You're going to make $150,000 equity. You're going to be in the positive $193,000 as compared to a loss of $180,000.
Yep.
I've got an idea, and this is always works. This will close them. Let's you and I go out and look at houses, and you pick one, and I'll buy it. And so you're going to lose 180.
You'll
and
buy it and I'll rent it?
buy it for you and you rent it. And I'll make the 193,000.
No way, man. I'm not doing that.
Come on. I'll do this
You
for
love paying rent.
But that's what you're doing right now.
Right.
You love paying rent. I love it. So that's the idea, is close them on, like they will be like, no, I want to buy a house. And then it's not
Okay,
so
hold
much.
on. So Katie, come over here.
Come here, Katie.
We're pulling Katie into the podcast.
Right.
Yes.
When are you going to
Introduce
buy?
yourself.
My name is Katie.
Tell them how old you are.
I'm 24.
Going to be 25.
All
We're
right.
We're already
In 2
planning
weeks.
the
Right.
big party. Do I need to teach you how to talk?
No,
into the
no, you
microphone?
don't. No, you don't.
So what did you think as you were going through that?
The one thing I got is that buying a home is better than renting.
Right.
That's the end all be all.
Right.
Yep.
And you're basically losing money if you pay somebody else rent.
How much is your rent right now?
I don't pay rent because I currently live at home
Okay.
because I want to move out. That's
Right.
why.
Okay.
So I'm saving money.
So you know what I did when I graduated from college? I found 2 or 3 good friends of mine, and I bought a house, and they rented the 2 or 3 other rooms.
Okay.
And so they were paying 2/3 of my mortgage.
Right.
They were paying pretty much my mortgage. And so when it was done, I sold the house. I got the equity. And then have you ever wondered, like, you see these people like, how do people live in $1 million home? Here's what they do. They do this for 3 or 5 years. They sell it. They take the equity, and then they move up. And they do it 3 or 4 times in their life. So that person that's living in $1 million house, they've got a $1,500 mortgage because they're just taking the equity and moving it up every time, and their payment's not changing. We got to get you on the ownership train.
Yes.
All right.
Yes, we do.
What do you think?
When are you going to buy a house? By when?
I don't know. Hopefully
You
soon.
live in Dallas?
Yes, I do.
So you can probably buy something with 3 to 5% down, which if you really think about, most of these rents now, they're wanting first, last month deposit. They're going to ask for almost 3% to rent a house.
Wow.
So why not own a house instead?
I know.
And the reality is, like Kath and I were out looking at real estate just this last weekend. We're looking at stuff that is 250, 350, 450, trying to figure out how many of those we can buy because the rents are so great and there's still all this appreciation.
Right.
You should be buying one of those.
All right.
What's holding you back?
Home ownership at 25.
I bought my first place
I
at
bought
19.
my first one at 22.
Okay, so to Jeff's points, you ready? So big shout out to Jacob Sykes, my longest dear friend outside of Kurt Kessler, who I've known literally since I was 18. I buy my first house at 19. It's $155,000, one bedroom plus a loft, right? Two bath, little shoebox, right? 155 grand. By the way, back then I had to put 30% down because I was 19 and basically had no credit.
Right. They
You
didn't
with me?
believe you. You had to put a lot of money down.
I put a ton of money down.
Right.
My payment was like $815 a month plus association plus taxes, right? Let's call it like $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
I charged my buddy Jacob $950 a month in rent.
Right. You paid $50. You can do this.
Yes.
It was
You
so
can
great.
do this.
Sorry, Jacob. He knew. He figured it out like 4 months and he's like, dude, what's your payment? I'm like,
Right.
it's a lot, bro.
That's none of your business.
All right, now you guys got me thinking.
Well, that was the idea.
That's the idea.
See-
We're always
Put it in
just
my
getting
head now.
right.
All right, okay, no, talk to the microphone.
No, I was literally talking to Brian earlier. I was like, hey, I'm going to move out in January. I'm looking at apartments, not a house.
No, we're gonna buy.
I
a house.
know. Now I'm like, okay, let's look at houses.
Okay, so I'll give you another story. So my wife, Kathy, when she bought her first house, she bought it with one of her dear friends, Steve Rowe.
Right.
Right? So they buy it together, right? Between the two of them,
Split it in half.
he was an electrician,
Right.
she was a real estate agent. They both made decent money.
Right.
Yeah, we got to get into the show here. So I'm not saying you need to buy a house with Brian,
Right.
but like someone like Brian, who's like one of your posse, that you're like, look, let's just go buy a house together. And if you can really be smart, you go buy a duplex.
Right. And then
You guys live in one,
You're living
and then
for
you rent
free.
out the other,
And you're living
or
for free.
you live in one unit, they live in one unit. You get a rent, you get a buddy that wants to stay in there and pay some rent also, and so does the other person, because now you're in a business, right?
Because they're paying our mortgage.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, wow. Y'all are just brilliant.
Well, I don't know about brilliant.
Yeah,
We've
not
just
about
been doing
brilliant.
this
We've
for a
just been
while.
doing this for a while.
But at 24, about to be 25,
Yeah.
and like I think that's the typical scenario when you're talking to these first time buyers. They're like,
So watch this.
you just need to be
Watch
educated.
this. The worst. Most people are like, I don't want to be planted. I don't want to be stuck in one. You could always rent it out.
Right.
Or in this market, you bought a house 6 months ago? A year ago.
Yeah.
How much have you made in equity so far?
A lot.
Okay.
Talking to Ian, our producer here. Yeah.
Right.
He's made 120 grand in equity because he bought a house. Where'd you buy? What city again? Prosper. Prosper. I just love that name, right? So great. All right. So the first time buyer thing is key.
One thing I want to say is I think agents get really weird about numbers, and
Which is a really odd thought because
It
so
really
much
is.
of buying real estate is math.
So, hey guys, you need to have a mortgage calculator. Everything I'm going through is on a mortgage calculator. And another thing that I used to do, every week or every month, I would at least go to lunch with a loan officer and
smart.
learn about different programs or become an expert in mortgages and
be able to speak payments.
Right. And so most
Down
people are like,
payments
oh,
and
you
interest
need to
rates.
talk to they're going to just shuffle it off on the loan officer. No, you've got to be you're like the quarterback in this transaction. You've got to know everything. So the
I'm
more
going to
you
open
know,
up my playbook right here on my
Right.
arm and go,
Right.
with the interest rates, if they go to 4, that means your payment's this and your buying power is that.
Right.
Do you guys want to wait? Can you afford to wait? I mean, I know you're only 24, about to be 25.
you can't.
Right.
Right.
Right. Okay.
It's going to cost you more.
So we got first-time buyer scripting. That is money. I would even argue for everybody listening right now, you should take
Right.
your closest 15 friends from high school or college.
Take
and
them to
say,
lunch. Do it on a napkin.
I want to have lunch. I just want to show you something I learned. It's blowing me away.
Yep.
I want your input as a buddy. What do you think? I'm thinking about buying another house. Let me just go through the math with you, right? And it's not about a sales pitch. It really is about educating people because not everybody's going to say, okay, I'm going to buy a house. And not everybody has the money.
them
Not
thinking.
everybody's as disciplined as you are. They're saving and getting ready for it. All right.
Here's what I think. Every sale and listing starts with a conversation.
100%.
And we just want to have a conversation with people.
Right.
So at the end of the day on this thing, whatever you're losing, it's usually about what you're going to gain.
Right.
It's about a one-to-one gain.
So you're either gonna lose $180,000 or whatever it was in rent,
Right.
or you're gonna pick up
Right.
$120,000 in equity in a
And,
year.
I heard a story that most apartment complexes after 3.5 years, they're paid for. It's all cash. After that, it's all cash. That's why big apartments never sell because they're just raking in the money after the first 3
And
or
after
4
10 years, you refinance the note and you take a bunch of cash out and you go buy another 80 or 100 or 200 or 500 plex. Like that's the game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we did first time buyer scripting.
Yep.
Well, so what happens is that the streaming doesn't keep up with the streaming onto Facebook because this is a Facebook app. So anyway, that's why there's the blank screen. Nothing I can do about it except talk to you all. I think that was brilliant. I think it's brilliant. If they don't have a mortgage, they're going to get $150,000 in equity if they don't have a mortgage. If they have a mortgage, it's a $193,000 swing because they saved $43,000 in taxes and they got $150,000 in equity. And those are not what ifs. Those are definites. And so I think that, if you can watch this again and put it on a sheet of paper like I did, however you can explain it to somebody and practice doing it. It's really not difficult once you do it a couple times. It's really pretty easy. So hopefully you can do it. I'm going to hide this guy. And anyway, so here you go. Hopefully you can do this. Hopefully you can do it because it's not, I did this. I followed along with Jeff as he was explaining it. And so I just wrote it down and, you can see my little arrows going here and there, but I got the buyer and then I got the renter, right? And it's easy. So I think this is a great way to explain to anybody about home ownership. This would make a great video if y'all are doing videos, hopefully. We're going to get into that next week. I don't think I'll have time this week, but next week we're going to get into this and get into doing videos. Pretty heavy duty stuff. And it'll be a fire hose of information next week. And this is, again, stuff I learned from the Tom Ferry Blueprint I attended a couple weeks ago. And Jason, one of his trainers, is absolutely incredible. So anyway, hopefully the audio is okay. Yeah, I never know after I do a video. Anyway, I'll see you all tomorrow. It'll be Friday. I love Fridays. I may not have a show on Saturday. I'll see. I'm going to be talking to Mark Kahn. He might come on with me because Max is taking his kids to a soccer match and he can't miss it. And so I may be doing it single. Oh, we'll see. But tomorrow I will be here and we're going to talk more about 2022 and your business plan and some compelling things. Love you all. Have a great day.